Hello, and welcome to the Quarter to Three Games stream for the second week of January. This is something new that we are doing. Well, I'm doing it. Normally, we would do the Quarter to Three Games podcast this week, but Jason's wife is under the weather, and I have JTS this week, and I didn't want to bother anybody on short notice, so we're going to stream some Dragon Age. And you know what? I was going to talk about Dragon Age anyway, so what the hell? Let's see if this works. Okay. So this is me. This is Banara. Those of you that have listened to me on either JTS or Quarter 3 know that whenever I do a RPG, I always name my character Beaners, unless is a woman, and then I name her Binara, but I decided because she's a Canary that I would do the B apostrophe thing, because that is my really horrible stab at being somewhat I don't know, exotic. So here's her. This is her. She's a level 14 mage. We can do a little background of the character creation process, because that's always exciting. I always play as women, and that's because there aren't enough female game characters. So when I play an RPG that lets me pick my gender, I play as a woman unless it's a Pokemon game, because then it just feels kind of creepy. You can call it tokenism. I really don't care. It's my $60. That's how I like to play. I chose a mage because I played a rogue in Dragon Age, and I played a fighter in Dragon Age 2, and I thought it would be fun to be a mage in Inquisition. And I picked a Canary because I thought that would be a really cool kind of juxtaposition of race and class. The Canaries they're big, they're bulky, they have a 10% damage resistance, so they're typically more of a fighter. You really wouldn't pick one as a rogue, and so I thought a Canary mage would be pretty interesting. And she is beautiful. Look at that. She is a tall drink of water, and I don't know if you can tell, but my horns, they are blinged out, because fuck yeah. The other reason why I picked a woman is I find that some of the best voice actors working in games today are women. Not to take anything away from the Troy Bakers and the Nolan Norths and those guys, but of course Commander Shepard, voiced by the incredibly talented Jennifer Hale. How could you not pick that voice? And then Laura Bailey, who voiced my character in Saints Row 2 and 3 and 4. I can't. There's some really fantastic voice acting being done by actresses today, so that's why I go the way that I go. She is a knight enchanter, because knight enchanters are fucking boss. Basically, what a knight enchanter is a melee mage. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I'm going to show you the skill tree. So this right here is a spirit blade. That's a sword made out of magic. And what this ability here does, Fade Shield. Fade Shield is awesome. So basically, anytime I hit somebody, a percentage of the damage that I do gets turned into a barrier, which is pretty rad. And then because I also, sorry, I'm still getting used. 45 hours in, and I still don't know how to do the goddamn controls. This is the spirit tree, so this is basically casting a barrier. So that's right here, casting a barrier, casting a better barrier, giving you, when you get injured, getting an automatic barrier. There's a little mind blast that knocks cats back when they try to step to you. This right here gives you extra strength to your barrier when you use it. This right here lets me have a stronger barrier. So all these skills kind of increasing my force field, and then when I hit dudes, that makes my force field even stronger. It's a pretty good class. You can go right up, you can melee the hell out of people, and generally have a good time. So what we are going to do is, I have some quests, and we're just gonna go, and we're gonna go to the Exalted Plains, and we're just gonna hang out. We're just gonna rap for a little bit, you and me, because it's awesome. It's 2015. What an amazing time to be alive. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm gonna go to. I need to go here. to, where is it? Here. We're going to go to the Riverside Garrison. This is one area. This map here, this is the Exalted Plains. This is just one area in Dragon Age Inquisition. It is, I would say, it's on the bigger side of the areas. I've had some that are larger. I've had some that are smaller. But all these little icons and things are all, places to go, things to do, these little diamonds. This is a mission I need to do. This little X is a landmark that I've already discovered. This is a camp that I've discovered. So they kind of pattern it as an open world game. I don't know if I would call it an open world game because even though you can wander the countryside, it still kind of limits where you can go and when you can go, and it ties that to some kind of mission objectives, how far you get in the story. If you're talking with all your different available teammates along the way, you can unlock new places to go and new things to do. And then there's also this notion of power. Let me pop back really quick. See that up in the upper left-hand corner? I can't show it to you. Point, blink, power 52. The more power you get as the Inquisition is the more stuff that you can unlock on the war table, which there's no point going to it at the moment because there really isn't anything to show. So instead, we're going to go to the Exalted Plains, like I said before, and we're going to pick our party, which is always awesome. This is not going to be my usual party and I'll explain why. My typical party is Blackwall. He is I'm sorry for spoilers, but it is what it is. Blackwall is a Grey Warden. He is a really good tank. I pick him because I like his character and I'm trying to get in his pants. So that's reason number one. Normally, I would pick Solas, who is an elven mage. He's kind of a Fade scholar. He goes dreaming and he goes into the Fade and he goes to all these places and sees the spirits and worlds of the past. And he's really good because he likes to pop barriers on me, and those are super helpful. This time, though, we're going to take Dorian. Where is he? Because I have a mission that is specific to Dorian. I typically don't take Dorian with me, and it's nothing against him. He's a perfectly nice guy. It's just that Dorian is the snarky mage, and I've played enough snarky mages in Dragon Age. And then I pick Varric. Varric is my rogue. Varric is awesome. I don't know why you would not pick Varric for anything. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that. We're going to go to the Exalted Plains and we are going to kill some folks. It surprisingly takes very little time to load these levels, given how big they are. Once you've loaded up a map, unless you're you'll come across a few transition zones. They're very, very rare. So the whole map is basically open to you once you warp in. And it turns out you have horses, so you can drive. Listen to me. You can ride really quickly across the countryside, even though I never remember. And I always end up walking. Okay, so here we are in the Riverside Plains. That's us. We're a fine-looking bunch. So what we need to do is we need to go here. Wait, no, we need to go here. So this is a Dorian-specific mission, one less Venatori. So Dorian is from Tevinter, and he's got some folks from there that he wants dead. So we're gonna help him out in that regard. So it's 2015. I don't know about you, but I'm already sick of all of the Back to the Future 2 jokes. You're not going to get a hoverboard. It's okay. You'll live. If you had a hoverboard, you would kill yourself on it. So don't worry about it. You're also not going to get self-adjusting jackets. And unfortunately, Pepsi is still around despite the fact that it tastes like a monkey's butt. Okay, so this is the Exalted Plains. This is kind of... this is like the... Well, it's the plains. There's rocks, there's large open spaces. I've already been to one area that was a swamp, one area was constantly raining. The hinterlands is wooded. I've got a ton of areas unlocked. I just haven't gone to all of them. That right there, we can't really see it. That's like their version of the antelope. So we're going to go down here and we're going to see if we can see some Tevinters. Okay, see, there's some folks off in the distance. That's the people that we want to kill. Oh, before we do that, I need to level Dorian up. And this is what I do because I care so much about my teammates is when I get to their page, I just hit auto level up. Because really, I don't have the time to go through 8 different people and make sure they're all tuned because I'm playing on normal. And on normal, I play it like an action RPG. If I wanted to, I could do this. And what I just did is on the PS4, I just pressed the touchpad. And that goes into the tactical mode. And then in the tactical mode, I could say, okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to cast whatever. We're going to cast Lightning Bolt against the darkness. And then Blackwall, he's going to go, I don't know, whatever. He's going to do Shield Wall. And Dorian, he's going to do a barrier on all of us, and then Varric, he's gonna stealth on out, and then you could advance time, and they'll do it, and then you can pick more stuff to do, and blah 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 blah, and then finally you can exit. Now that was a waste because I basically made everybody pop their powers when they don't need it, but seeing how they're already popped, I guess I'll run forward and we'll start killing some guys. I play like an action RPG. Now, did you notice there that my barrier started to go up? So we're going to pop another one here. And then we're basically just going to kill these guys. You can hear the frantic wailing of my controller. Now, I have never played a Dragon Age game on anything other than like normal, casual, because I don't like to have things be incredibly difficult, especially on these kind of games. And it works out for me. I know that in Dragon Age 2, I think was a lot easier than the original Dragon Age. I think there was a few battles in the original Dragon Age where I had to be fairly tactical about things. Dragon Age 2, I may have played it on casual. Honestly, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure that I don't think I had the same level of problems. You'll forgive me for one moment. My battery is dying, and I need to get this thing plugged in. This is the type of quality you have come to expect from me and these podcasts. Okay, and she's hanging around. She's happy. So we're going to loot this. We don't really need Dorian anymore, but we're going to keep him anyway because I'd have to travel to a camp. So that's my little marker. I don't know why she's still on alert, so we're just going to tell everybody disengage. Okay, this right here, pushing the thumbstick, that's a little search. And that basically tells me, hey, there's something over here. And look at that. There's something there. That's actual Varric right there, by the way. He's hidden. Okay, so he's dead. So good enough for that. Let's go find a landmark. Landmarks give you power, which is kind of silly. So this game, I really enjoy it. I've played it for 45 hours, and that's been in about 2 weeks. Oh, there's a rift over there too, so we'll get to that. So this game kind of follows. It's kind of halfway between like a Skyrim and like the Ubisoft model of open world games, your Far Cry's, your Assassin's Creed. And the reason I say that is, like an Ubisoft game, as you can see, there's tons of stuff that you can do. These are all little quests, rifts. These are like little fights with demons that you do. You can find camps. This is I don't know what that is. It's a completed operation, whatever that is. There's a grove. You can investigate this grove. This is a mission here. There's shards. These are letters to find. There's also shards that you can find. This is a quarry that I need to claim so I can build a courtyard. So at every map, there's a bunch of things to do if you get bored, and that's kind of the Ubisoft open world model, right? Like as opposed to like a GTA or something where stuff is kind of gated. Ubisoft is basically like, you know what, go do whatever the hell you want. Like if you in Far Cry 4, before I had the North unlocked, I think there was 2 or 3 skills that were locked behind opening up the north, and I had unlocked everything. So I mean, I was just ridiculously overpowered. But they don't care. To them, I think their idea is, you know, do whatever you want, have fun. We don't care if you want to do the story stuff first, do it. If you don't, then that's fine. All right, so we're gonna go kill these guys before we. Sorry, damn it. We're gonna go kill guys if I can not die before we claim that landmark. Skyrim, on the other hand, has a bunch of stuff to do, but then, you know, there's also a lot of stuff that's kind of, I mean, like, you really have to find a bunch of story stuff in order for it to get triggered, as opposed to just kind of like it being a marker that you can follow. Like in Assassin's Creed, you know, you can do whatever you want, and then when you feel like doing a story mission, you know, you go and then that marker is there, and you can go to the marker and you can start your mission. You know, Skyrim seems to be a little more like, well, if you stumble across a story mission, you can do it, but so many of them also just kind of seem to be waiting. Like, the whole world is kind of waiting for you to show up and do your thing, which is kind of silly, because it's like, all right, well, would this whole Civil War really wait and hinge on me being around? That doesn't seem like a very good narrative choice. Dragon Age is kind of in between, so when you're in an area, you can do whatever you want. However, there will be things that won't show up until you've progressed a certain degree. For example, Varric, one of his story quests is that he wants all these red lyrium deposits destroyed. Well, one of the areas that I went to has red lyrium deposits for me to destroy, but I can't actually get to them because I need to unlock a door, and I won't unlock a door until I've progressed to a certain point in the story. And then I'll get a war table operation that will eventually let me unlock it. Well, apparently Blackwall is not doing too well. So when you're in a particular area, there's a lot of stuff to do, but it's also somewhat tied to progression, which means that you can't do like a Far Cry or an Assassin's Creed, where when you get to a new town, you basically can just do whatever you want and then clear out the town and then move on. You have to be okay with leaving some things on the table until the game kind of lets you tackle them. And that bothered me at first, but I've kind of gotten over it. I definitely feel a lot more invested in the story of this game, like this notion of you leading this Inquisition. And what I'm doing here is I'm trying to close this rift, and these rifts are basically tears in the breach where demons come through, and there it said disrupt the rift. So I can use this mark on my hand to disrupt it and then eventually close it like that, and that makes it so the demons don't come through anymore. So I have kind of unwittingly been pulled into this Inquisition. Some people think I'm the Herald of Andraste, which if you're familiar with Dragon Age lore, you know that's kind of a big deal. He needs to drink a potion, so we're going to have him do that. Oops. He's also going to drink a potion. Okay. And so now I lead this Inquisition, and we're basically the true kind of villain has shown his face, so to speak. The game kind of starts off as if it's one thing that is kind of really important, and that is an important thing, but you find that there's actually kind of more to it than what you originally thought. And so now I am the leader of this Inquisition, and I'm off doing my thing. We're gonna find that landmark to help the Inquisition and eventually stop the big evil thing. Darkspawn, they're not really a thing in this one, so if you were like tired of fighting the Darkspawn in the first and the second one, that's not really a problem here. I don't know what this means. Unlock operation. Let's see what that says.
No to anyone even thinking of throwing me across.
Oh, Varric, you cheeky bastard. I don't know what that did. Maybe it'll unlock something on the war table. Who knows? Okay, so we're gonna go close this rift here. So what I like about the game is I like the combat, even though it does seem kind of odd that you'll just kind of be roaming around, and all of a sudden, like, you'll just find these guys that you can kill. It seems like your enemy is not as interested in taking over these areas as you are. You know, you'll honestly, you come across more kind of demons, like from these rifts, undead guys, zombies, and actually wildlife. So you'll get attacked by bears, you'll get attacked by wolves. You get more grief from those enemies than you do like the forces of kind of the main bad guy, which is kind of weird because, you know, you're basically going through all these areas and you're performing all of these deeds so that the Inquisition can gain power, so that you can fight this guy, and he doesn't seem all that interested in stopping you. So as you're roaming around the countryside and then you come across bad guys, it seems kind of random, and it really shouldn't. Like, it seems to me like there should be a little more weight to that kind of thing. Like, it shouldn't just be that, oh, hey, there's like 3 guys after getting mauled by a pack of wolves. You know, the story missions are definitely more directed in that regard. But the reality is, when you look at the percentage of things to do as what percentage of activities are story missions, it's actually really small. The majority of the stuff that you're doing is this kind of go to an area and clear it out kind of thing, and there'll be story stuff from your various party members while you're doing it, but in terms of like things to really move the plot forward, it's a pretty small percentage of what you're actually doing. So it seems kind of weird that the enemy doesn't take more of a part in you roaming the countryside. That being said, I do really like kind of the way that this universe plays out in this kind of situation. You know, for example, you know, people are still very suspicious of mages, you know, as they should be. What with the whole blood magic and darkspawn thing, I mean, if you were working with a group of people who could go crazy and turn into demons, you would probably be pretty fairly suspicious of them as well. And so, you know, there comes a time where you have to choose: are you siding with the Templars, are you siding with the mages, and not in like a dumbass Dragon Age 2 kind of way. And whatever way you decide to go, that's permanent. If you side with the mages, you're always going to be siding with the mages. Same thing with the Templars. So then kind of the choices that you have to make after you make that decision are kind of interesting, and really makes it feel like you are playing a part in setting maybe how other races in this universe look at mages, or how they look at Templars. And I really like that. I think that's really cool. I've always liked the Dragon Age lore, you know, the notion of magic, you know, being, you know, Dragon Age is the Marvel Civil War of fantasy games. You know, if you ever read Civil War, you know, there's this kind of whole notion of whether or not folks with superpowers should have to register with the government, and whether there should be any kind of limits placed on their powers, and just kind of the ideological differences that would come about when you have, like, essentially gods and demigods mixing it up with the general population. And it's the same thing here. I mean, you know, mages, sometimes they go crazy, and sometimes they turn into abominations and demons, and so should they be I don't know what that means when he's green like that. we're just gonna hang out because apparently I can't hit him. Run away, little doggy. And he's dead. Anyway, you know, should they be controlled? Should there be some sort of limits placed on their powers? Me being a mage, I am making very pro-mage decisions, kind of as you would expect. All right, now I need to get up here, but I don't really know how to do that. Unless I'm supposed to go through this grotto. I'm not really sure. Honestly, I have no idea how I'm supposed to get up there. Isn't this exciting? Navigation, yay. So yeah, so I've been playing this a lot. I play it on the PS4, and if I play it on the PS4, then that means I play it via remote play. Yay! Everybody who makes games for the PS4 and who eventually makes those games remote playable really needs to look at how Ubisoft does their remote play games, because they make some minor tweaks to their games to make sure that they work well on the Vita. And not everybody does that, and I can tell you it makes a world of difference. For example, the PS4 controller, the little R2 or R1 and L1, those are your bumpers. Well, you usually don't use those very much in games. In this game, for example, you use the triggers for doing your right trigger is your main is like your main attack. Left trigger is something else. I don't remember what it was. Well, on the Vita, the bumpers of the PS4 controller are mapped to the shoulder buttons of the Vita, which means that to do your triggers, which means for me to use my staff magic attack, I have to constantly be tapping the back touchscreen, and that's kind of a pain in the ass. If this was an Ubisoft game, they would have just switched those, and then you wouldn't have to worry about it. So there's certain attacks I end up really not using all that much when I am playing via remote play, because it's not comfortable to do so. There's a crafting material. We're going to pick that up. That being said, I play most of my time actually in this game is spent playing it on the Vita, because you know, if I'm just hanging out watching TV, if I want to run some war table operations or just kind of go get some shards or whatever, it's pretty easy to do that while I'm watching TV with the wife, and pretty enjoyable too. And then, you know, open world games, they're my jam. I think it's a really great way to just kind of kick back and relax, especially when you have you know, these countrysides that you can just kind of walk through. I do think, though, that open world, there is the tendency to just kind of, hey, what up, Wolf? There's a tendency to kind of have a lot of filler, and I feel like this game has a lot of filler. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the fact that it's as long as it is, and that I've, you know, investigated so many areas. Oh, what the hell happened there? Varric died. That's okay, because I have this power. No, oh, never mind. I guess he's just gonna come back to life. I like the fact that there's a lot to do. I just feel like a lot of it is, that, you know, is filler. You know, basically when some of your quests are like, okay, go get a bunch of herbs, you know, or, you know, go to this spot here. Like, for example, okay, let's look. All of these things here, these are just letters. I gotta find 7 letters. So I go to all these different places and I just pick up the letters. And then when I pick up all the letters, the quest is done. I've already been to these places. I'm not going to gain anything by going and getting these. It's just basically a large kind of 7-part fetch quest. And there's a lot of missions like that. They don't push the narrative forward. You know, they give you experience, which is really good. But that's about it. So, oh, here we go. We're going to go through here. Yay. Ooh, a grotto. Sorry, this is the first I've been to Galenane's Grove. That's a wyvern. These are wyverns. Oh, great. Anyway, so there is a lot of kind of filler, and that's fine. Open world games tend to have that. But I do think that when you get a lot of it, what you run the risk of kind of giving the player fatigue. Like they want to do these things because they feel like it's important for them to do them. Perhaps like somebody like me who just can't leave those parts of the map uncovered, and then what they have to show for their time is just basically a lot of running around. Not to say that you don't get things, you just don't get a lot of things. I mean, you get some experience. Maybe you'll get a chance at some piece of kit or whatever, but sometimes you do just kind of feel like you were just running around because they felt the need to put a quest marker in this particular spot on the map. Okay, so now we're going to do this because I need to bring Varric back to life. And I can't because I don't have enough mana stored up. What about now? Nope, still not. What about now? Still not. What about now? Okay. Come on back, Varric. I don't know what it means when this guy turns purple. We can't do anything to him. I'm assuming he's gonna die. He's like in the spirit world or something. But when he comes back, he's gonna be pissed. That's pretty rad.
This might be a decent place for a spot of camping.
Oh, and hey, this is where we're supposed to set up that last camp. That's awesome. So exciting. All right. So this is me playing Dragon Age. I appreciate you taking the time to sit with me. We're going to be back on the normal podcasting schedule really soon. Again, we had planned on doing something this week. It's been... it's kind of tough with the scheduling, not going to lie. And then with the holidays, that kind of throws a wrench in things. This is the first week back, and like I said, when people have folks that aren't feeling well, that's kind of hard to schedule things as well. And Jason and I want to make sure that when we do the show, we are super into it and really able to focus on it. And this was something that we possibly would have put together a little bit on the slapdashy side. And we didn't want to do that. So I said, hey, you know what? I'll just throw something quick together, podcast. All my peeps, they can watch the Dragon Age fun. And then if this is something that you end up enjoying, we could always do this for other games down the line. I used to stream a fair amount. I don't do it as much anymore. Not because I don't like it, but just because I honestly don't feel like it's a good use of anyone's time to hear me blather on about a game for an hour. Because who the fuck am I? Nobody, honestly. So I hope that everybody had a fantastic new year. I hope that everybody is excited for 2015 and that awesome things are going to come everyone's way, and maybe we could put some of the bullshit and negativity of 2014 behind us. And so that would require us all to be positive and only point out the things that you love, draw attention to the things that you love. There's people that you think are talented and fun and a good time, good writers, talented game developers, good critics. Definitely tell your friends. Don't jump on Twitter just to bitch about something for the sake of bitching about it. Celebrate things that are awesome, and then maybe we can all get through 2015 a little bit better than we managed to get through the last year. So I am going to sign off for now. I appreciate you taking the half hour or so to hang out with me. I hope that you had a good time, and I hope that if you like Dragon Age, if you liked 1 and 2, but you weren't sold on Inquisition, definitely pick it up. I think it's definitely worth playing despite the shortcomings that I mentioned. There is a lot here. The story is pretty rad. The combat is fun as hell. The skill trees are awesome. Good characters. The loot crafting is a little hinky. It's a little much to take in, but it's definitely doable. And if you like kind of RPGs in general, especially open world ones, definitely give it a look-see. So this is me, Brandon. You can follow me on Twitter, although I'm not tweeting as much lately. That's at Mr. Binky, Misterbinky. And this has been the Quarter to 3 Games podcast Dragon Age stream Twitch cast thing for the first week, second week of January, whatever, it doesn't matter. So thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to spending some more time with you next week. So good night, and have a good evening.